Hi, and welcome to Daily Stretch. If you like today's session, please subscribe. So today's session we're going to start standing. So place the feet underneath the hips, shoulders back and down, and push the crown of the head up as high as you can. Level the chin with the floor and roll the shoulders back, relax down through the arms and balance the breath, breathing in and out. Breathe in, lift the hands high, overlap the palms and press them up towards the sky. Nice gentle breathing as you do. And then with the hands pushing away from the body, rotate round to the right and slightly dip the chest down towards the floor. This will stretch through the side of the back, come back round and stretch round to the left. Once again, slightly dip the chest if you want to, towards the floor. Come back round to the start and then push the hands away from the body, tucking the chin into the chest and stretching through the back of the shoulders. Keep pushing away for a moment longer. Then bring the hands back up to the sky, breath in, breathe out and forward fold. Bend the knees to touch the mat. Push the chest down, keep the knees bent. A little stretch through the back chain of the body. Just bend the knees, flex them a couple of times. Just a little bit of dynamic movement. And then step back and bring the body back down into child's pose, pushing the hips onto the heels and the chest towards the floor. Spread the fingers, try and walk the hands away from the body. Then come up onto all fours, tuck the toes and push the pelvis towards the face and the face towards the pelvis. And cat-cow a few times. So arching the spine, then flattening the back. Arching the spine and then drop the bum back towards the heels slightly to increase the stretch through the back of the shoulders. Continue this a few times, trying to arch the back further each time. Last one, then come up onto plank and then push the hips high into downward facing dog. Keep the knees soft, press the chest through and try and spread the weight equally between the hands and then rock the shoulders left to right just to make a little bit of movement through the shoulders and stretch the shoulders out a little. And then come forward, arch the spine as you come forward into plank and then drop back into child's pose, stretching once again through the back chain of the body. As you're in child's pose, just move the pelvis left and right to make a little bit of movement in the lumbar spine, and then come up on all fours, tuck the toes and push back up into downward facing dog. Then drop forward into plank and then up into downward facing dog. Keep the knees soft as you go forward and back, just making a little bit of movement through the shoulders. Nice little bit of dynamic stretching, and then push the chest back. Try and bounce a couple of little times and then come forward again to plank. All the time trying to increase the range of movement you have, trying to get further through the arms and the chest further towards the knees. Hold and stretch now. And then come down onto all fours, spread the knees wide and drop back into a wide leg child's pose. Bring the hands to the centre of the mat, let the forearms touch the mat and press the chest and the hips down as much as you can. Whilst we're down in this position, once again rock the pelvis left and right, making the hips move. Keep the pressure down in the hips out, so we're opening the pelvis all the time. Make sure you go both directions. Don't favour one direction more than the other. Be equal in your movements. And then come up, bring the right leg forward, heel down, and then push the bum back slightly and press the chest forward to stretch the hamstrings. Pull the toes slightly towards the shins. Keep the pressure on and increase the stretch as you go. Then change legs, bringing the left one forward, heel down, toes towards the shin. Once again, press the chest down. And then bring the knees back, wide again, toes close to the center, and then work the hips backwards and forwards, and then push the hips towards the mat, coming all the way back to the heels, and then as far forward as you can. Opening the inside of the thighs up and stretching them out. A little bit of movement first, then drive the hips now towards the mat. If, like me, you've got a tight lower back, you'll find this quite a challenge, but keep driving the hips towards the mat and press the chest through the hands. And then bring the knees over to the right side of the mat, hands to the left, and drop back into a child's pose, stretching through the right side of the body. The more you press the chest down, the greater you'll feel the stretch down the side of the lats. Then come up, knees on the left side, hands on the right, and then drop the bum back again into child's pose. Get that stretch down the side of the back, press the chest down and enjoy it. Come up onto all fours, and now we're just going to warm the hips. So bring the right knee into the elbow, then kick the foot out. Try and come across the mat as you're kicking the foot out. You're looking to do 6 to 8 times on this side, and then swap over to the left knee. Just getting the movement through the back and into the hips. You can see here how the leg's going across the body more. Get your body ready, because we're going to go up to downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, spread the fingers, and drive the hips up. Bring the right knee in, touch the elbow, and then kick it all the way out, bringing it over the left side of the mat. Try and hook the heel towards the bum, thinking about getting the heel towards the left hand. Push the chest towards the left foot, and that will increase the stretch down the right side of the body. Hold for a few moments more, then bring the knee in, touch the elbow once again, and return now to child's pose. In a moment, we're going to go up and do it on the left side. Just give the body a moment, and up, tuck the toes, press up into downward facing dog, kicking it over the top. Kicking your heel out as far as it will go. Push the chest through. Keep that body slightly rotated. And then bring the knee through, touch the elbow, and drop the body down, and come back into child's pose again. Just to rest the body. Bring the hands to the heels, and just sit the body down, pushing the heels and the hips together, and then drive the shoulders towards the mat. And come up onto all fours, and then take the right arm through the gap of the left arm, left leg, and thread the needle through. Rotating through the spine, try and get the left shoulder nice and high. You can always rotate the left arm over the back to bound the arm. Try and push the hands away from the body, increase the stretch. Try and relax as you breathe out from the tummy. That will help with the rotation. Keep breathing and holding, and as you're holding, try and rotate a little further. Get that nice rotation through the spine. And then come up, all fours, and then swap sides. Left arm going through, threading the needle to the right. Right arm coming forward, once again, bound that arm if you want to. And increase the stretch, try and get the shoulder up to the sky more. Bring the body up, around onto your bum. And then bring the right leg long, left leg short. Breathe out, reach down for the toes, into a nice little hamstring stretch. It's into the back and the attachment of the hamstring. Nice little forward fold for a single leg. And then come up, change sides, get comfy, and then breathe out and go down for the leg. It doesn't matter if your knees bent first, and you slowly strain it out. Just try and relax into it as much as you can. Come up from the stretch and down onto your back. Then we're going to rotate the back. So down, arms out into crucifix, so out, shoulder height, and then cross the right knee over the left. Breathe out and rotate the hips over to the left side. Trying to keep the right shoulder flat against the mat all the time. Feeling the rotation through the spine and the stretch around the side of the hip. Bring them up to the centre line. Unfold the legs, left over right, refold, and then breathe out and drop the hips over to the right hand side. Left shoulder staying flat. Once again, getting that nice rotation through the back. We come out of this stretch now, bring the knees into the chest, pull them in, and then pull up and reach up for the instep of the foot. Bring the chin between the chest, and then squeeze the body into a ball, into a pose known as happy baby. Try and drive the knees down and out as much as you can, and you'll find the stretch goes all the way through the hips and on the inside of the legs. A great stretch. Then come up from the happy baby and round, Cross legs sitting and breathe out and drop the chest between the legs. Just trying to relax that back and the hips out. The more you can relax the hips out, the deeper you'll be able to get into the stretch. Holding the stretch for a moment longer. And then we're going to bring the legs into straddle. So nice and wide stretch. Heel of the foot pushing away, toes pulling towards the shins. Breathe out, drop the chest forward and reach down. Try and hook the big toes. Doesn't matter if you need to flex the knees, you're still going to get a good stretch through the back of the legs and into the inside. So in a moment we're going to bring the right heel in and then breathe out, reach down for the toes of the left foot. Keep the chest pointing forward still. Just getting a little bit more stretch, focusing on one leg at a time. Keep pressing the chest down. Bring the body up, hand down, and now bring the right arm over the top to stretch down the side of the body. Try not to roll the right shoulder towards the left leg. Try and open the chest as much as you can, and this will get down into the side of the body. So in a moment we're going to swap sides. Right leg out, left leg in. And then breathe out and take the right arm down the right leg and press the chest forward again. Once again, just focusing on that single leg before we go for the side bend. Try and keep the breath regular. Nice and controlled, and then sit tall. Breathe in, breathe out, go down for the side bend and reach over the top with the left arm this time. Holding for a few seconds more, and in a moment we're going to come down onto our back. Come up, and as we come down onto our back, have the feet flat, knees bent. Try and have the knees in line with the hips, and we're going to just move the pelvis up and down, rolling it towards the tummy and then back down onto the mat. Just getting a little bit of movement through the lumbar spine into the hips and making the hip flexor slightly stretch. Taking the hands up towards the ceiling just helps the body focus on moving the hips, and then try and push the hips towards the heels now as you come down to get a little arch in that lumbar spine. So the lumbar spine will press towards the mat and then come off the mat. Nice little bit of back movement. Last few movements, making the spine go up and down. And then come around onto all fours, and we're going to cat-cow. So dip in the spine, down and up, using the pelvis and the head. Tuck the toes to increase the stretch as we go up into cat. Try and focus on pushing the belly button down to the knees. Last few cat-cows now. Really working that belly button into the spine as we go up and down towards the knees as we come down. Hold cow now for a moment, pressing the crown of the head up, trying to dip the spine. then bring it into the neutral spine. Bring the body down, take the breath in, breathe out and lift the chest away from the floor. Squeeze the bum to arch the spine, press the hips into the floor, into baby cobra. And as you feel like the stretch is giving, then just try and push the crown of the head up a little bit more. Don't worry too much about looking straight ahead. Don't put too much tension through the neck. Just focus on driving the hips down, squeezing the bum and pushing the chest away from the floor. Push back now into child's pose for a moment. And then come up onto all fours. Bring the right knee forward. Work the right foot forward as far as you can. And then gently press the hip weight forward over the right knee. Getting a nice stretch. See that my left knee is behind the hip line. Tuck the toes on the left leg. Drive the hips forward and try and keep the core compressed. Getting into the hip flexor and the back of the leg. Round the glutes. Feeling the stretch through all the legs. Keep driving the weight forward slightly on that knee. Keep the muscles engaged in the glutes. And then bring it back, change legs, work that left foot forward, tuck the toes on the right, breathe out and drop the weight forward. Once again, get that core engaged, drive the hips forward, squeeze the bum. Get into those hip flexors and all around the glutes. Gently now come out of the stretch, sit down onto the heels.